Hey guys, welcome back to the CulePodcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about Pedri because Barcelona, they've started contract negotiations with Pedri. And as well, we're going to be talking about Gavi. When could he potentially return back to Barcelona matches? Gavi has trained with the team, but we want to see Gavi back out on the field. And as well, we're going to be looking at some words from Hansi Flick and Kounde in the press conference before the match tomorrow against Monaco, in which Barcelona they are going to debut in the new Champions League format. But guys, before I get started on the video, make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything is posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you guys can stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. But guys, let's get straight into the video. All right, guys, let's get straight into the video and let's talk about Pedri because Fabrizio Romano, he has reported that talks over a new contract for Pedri, they are ongoing. And right now there's been positive sensations between both the club and the player. Barcelona, they are optimistic about renewing Pedri, and Pedri as well is showing that willingness to renew. And this is absolutely fantastic news because Pedri right now, even though he has suffered a lot of injuries, Pedri at his best is an absolute world-class midfielder, and if not the best midfielder in the world. Just so good on the ball, just able to control that midfield, and just able to do so much for the team. He offers so much, and he's going to become a vital piece in that Barcelona midfield. And under Hansi Flick, playing in that deep line playmaker slash role in the base of the midfield, he is really shining. And with Barcelona emphasizing his physical fitness, could we see Pedri at his best for the entirety of the season? That's something that we are going to have to see. But it's very good news that Barcelona and Pedri, they are starting to talk about that contract negotiation. That way we can renew Pedri and tie him down for a couple more years. But now, guys, I want to be talking about Gavi because Gavi, he did return to Barcelona training. He's training with the team and everything. He's getting back up to match sharpness. But, Gavi, he's still not ready to return to Barcelona matches. And right now, Barcelona, they've marked 2 matches for Gavi's return. If things are very good, his recovery goes really well, and they're optimistic, his return will be against Sevilla on the 20th of October. And that's similar to the return date of Fermin Lopez and that of Dani Olmo. So Barcelona would be boosted by 3 key players returning. And if Barcelona they want to be taking absolutely no risk, then Barcelona will have to wait a little bit more. They will have to wait about a month or so to face Espanyol on the 3rd, and that's when Gavi would be returning. And in between these 2 matches, Barcelona would be facing Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. But obviously, Barcelona are not trying to bring Gavi back, in for those 2 matches, because just throwing Gavi back in those high intensity and demanding matches, I don't think that's the smartest of ideas. But we're gonna have to see how Gavi, his recovery goes. Gavi's recovery has been going really well, but we want to take no risks. We don't want to cut any corners. And if it takes to all the way to November, the start of November for Gavi to return against Espanyol, then so be it. We want Gavi to be back and his absolute best. But now, guys, I want to be talking about Hansi Flick's word because he has talked about, in that press conference, looking ahead towards that match against Monaco, which is going to be very exciting because, as you guys can see from this squad list, there are some notable additions, especially in that number 10, Ansu Fati. He's received the medical green light, which is absolutely brilliant to see. But also, you have the inclusion of both the Fernandez cousins. You have Guille and Tony Fernandez included in that squad list. And 2 players who have been absolutely killing it for Barca Athletic. And could they be, having some minutes right now with, the injury of Dani Olmo? 2 players who can play in that role. But guys, now let's look at some words from Hansi Flick, and this is what he had to say ahead of that match. He says, "I think our idea when we started here was to play well. I think we've done well, and we'll see what the intensity is like, how they press. So far, it's going well. When I arrived, I realized that there were players with a lot of quality, with players who are 15 years old and are now 16. We were incorporating international players, and it's becoming more and more evident. We can give them the philosophy of how we want them to play. But in the end, it has to happen all on the pitch, and the latest results have been very good. They are very stable, and this is our key to success for now. He talks about Danny as almost replacement. He says Danny has his own quality on the ball, in front of goal, and the confidence to shoot. We'll see. I hope we can continue playing at the same level without him. And this was a big question. How is Barcelona going to do in that match against Monaco without Dani Olmo? Because in the first opening matches of La Liga, even though Barcelona they were dominating the match, the scorelines were very tight, and Barcelona they were really struggling to create in front of goal. But now Flick, he talks about the Fernandez cousins. He says, I also talked about them in my first answer. They started at 15 and are now 16. It's amazing how La Masia makes them develop and perform. When we need a player, we know we can find him at La Masia. I have no doubt that they will play very well. Absolutely amazing to see that. He also talks about the homegrown youth. He says, when I accepted this job, I accepted the situation of the club. La Masia is a treasure that Barca has, and we have to take advantage of it. You only have to see the number of players we have in the team. Today, I can say that the Fernandez cousins are ready to play and improve their performance. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, but I remain very positive. Although in football, it is not always fair. We will have to see what happens. And right there, Hansi Flick pointing at those, Fernandez cousins and including them in the squad. He says, "Hey, they're ready to play." And how exciting is it going to be that guys with the injury of Daniel Olmo, we're going to see some absolutely brilliant La Masia gems come out and be ready for I would say a tough a game in that Monaco. He talks about Barca's seriousness. And he says, in the last game, we showed that we played very seriously. Against Girona, it was a high quality game. We played very well, but we need the pressure. They suffered and we scored goals. Tomorrow, we face a great rival. They are a very good team with new format of the Champions League, which is the best in the world. I think we are on the right track. And then he continues on the Fermin Lopez relapse. He says, in recent weeks, we have been gradually working with the players. They have been improving from their injuries. Ansu has been able to train well, and we are very happy to be able to count on him because it gives us other possibilities. We have spoken about Danny. Gavi is also training little by little, as is Frankie. In both positions, we have to be careful. As for Fermin, it is a shame because I feel a bit responsible. Nobody wanted to leave him in the U21, and I spoke to him, so I feel a bit responsible. When I was with him with the doctor yesterday, the truth is I felt very, very sorry for him. You have to look after the players, and it's absolutely gutting that Fermin Lopez he has gotten injured because Fermin Lopez was doing so well in the summer. Playing for Spain in the Olympics, having a breakthrough season last season as well, and so hopefully he is able to have a speedy recovery and we are able to see him very, very soon. He talks about the objective and he says, yes, I think so. A club like Barca, the big clubs want to win titles. And as I said, the Champions League is the best competition in the world. We have to be ready to play against the best teams. If you're not 100% focused, you have no place in this competition. He talks about Monaco and their coach. He says, I know Adi very well. In the last game, we could see the positive aspects of Monaco. They work very well defensively. We need the confidence and concentration to cover any space there is and create chances. We have a plan on how to do it, and I hope we can achieve it. And right there, Hansi Flick, confident. And the last piece of quote I want to talk from Hansi Flick is about Barcelona regaining respect in Europe. He says, I don't care about the past. We have to focus on the present. The team has had a full house of victories in La Liga, and we are confident. We need to be aggressive and focused. That is what needed in a competition like the Champions League. The 5 victories are already part of the past, and it's time to prove it in the Champions League. And I completely agree with that. Barcelona, we've won our games in La Liga, but we haven't, had that stamp in the Champions League as of right now. And those 5 victories, they're going to mean nothing in the Champions League. And so let's go out and put our best foot forward in order to try to win. And now, guys, I'm going to be looking about Jules Kounde, some of his words ahead of that Monaco match. And he says this. The team understands very well what the manager wants. There is a new dynamic. His staff is very on top of things, and everyone does their job very well, starting with the forwards who press very well. That gives us extra confidence, and we all want to do it. This allows you to score goals and win games, right? They're talking about the team environment. And Kounde also, he talks about the season objectives. He says, when you start this competition, the objective is to win it. We know it is very difficult, a competition with a new format to which we will have to adapt because there will be more games, but the objective must be to compete. Last year, we finished in the quarterfinals, and this year we want more. And I really like that the team is very hungry. You see that from the players, you see that from the manager. Everyone wants to do their best job in their best possible job in the Champions League and achieve more than they did last year. And it's really, really exciting. He talks about the number of matches. He says, I agree with what Rodri said. The calendar is getting longer every year. There are more matches every year, less time to rest. Nobody pays attention to us, the main protagonists, which are us, the players. The coaches have also asked for it. The only thing left for us to do is to go on strike. Wow. There are more and more injuries because there is less time to rest and more matches or tournaments. Like now the Club World Cup, with which 70 matches per season can be reached. Wow, 70 games. That's absolutely absurd, But that's FIFA, and that's something that's really, really worrying. Having players, continue to play. Kounde, he gives his thoughts about the new Champions League format. He says there are advantages and disadvantages. Nothing is perfect. You have to try it out to form an opinion. We're going to have to play more matches, and that means more work. But within the new format, I think it's more competitive. You play with more teams, but I couldn't say if it's better or worse. And we're going to have to see, how this first season of this new Champions League format goes in order for us to form our opinions. And then from then on, we can come back and we can, give our thoughts on it again. He talks about revenge on Monaco because we did, lose in the Joan Gamper Trophy. He says it could be useful, although this competition is different. Time has passed. We're in good form. They're coming off 3 wins and a draw, so we are ready for this match, and that's what matters. He continues talking about Monaco. He says, I follow League One. It's a league that attracts me a lot, and I know a lot of players. I follow the team. They have won 3 games and drawn another. They're a young team, but talented and physical. We will face an opponent with a lot of confidence, just like us. It will be a difficult match, but we will approach it in the best way possible. Wow. And the last piece of the last quote I did want to talk about, guys, is about playing right back. He says, I'll leave that to those who are watching. What matters is to me is giving my best and improving. It's not a natural position for me because I'm a center back, but I like the challenge. Improving is something I've done since I was little. It doesn't matter where they put me or there's some circumstances. I give my best to perform. And that's just Kounde, guys, giving his thoughts ahead of that Monaco match. Barcelona, Hansi Flick, and the team, they all understand that that game against Monaco is going to be very, very difficult against a challenging team, a team who is talented and very physical. And Barcelona, they will have to put their best foot forward in that match in order to win. But guys, that was it for the Barcelona news of the day. Definitely let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. What do you guys make of Barcelona initiating those contract negotiations with Pedri? Gavi set to return roughly either against Espanyol or against Sevilla. We're going to have to see how his recovery goes and, score predictions ahead of tomorrow's match against Monaco. How is that game going to go? But guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.